I completely agree with you. I had that same line of thinking about 2 years ago, and I penned a bill called the Same Gender Equal Rights Reproduction Act. And basically, what the bill did was outlaw child support outside of marriage and most welfare programs. That would thus influence what I would call Section 8 behavior.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
What is Section 8 behavior? You mean it's going to stop women from being promiscuous because they have to take the responsibility for their actions? Is that what you're saying?
Right, and having multiple children to multiple men out of wedlock.
Okay, but you're having multiple children to multiple women out of wedlock, sir. Where's your responsibility?
Okay.
What? So hang on. I'm sorry. I just want to get this right. In order to avoid fighting with the children's mother, you're going to make sure that they stay in a single mother household, even though you could help, you just choose not to because, well, after all, you have to limit your own personal risk when it comes to dealing with your own fucking children. Do I have that about right? And hearing that, by the way, hearing that out loud, does it make you in any way question the fact that you are probably the biggest fucking scumbag that I've met this year, and I know Destiny?
So,
wow, starting off hot. Andrew's starting off hot. You know, it's funny though, is that these people, they're always like, well, you know, like when they're justifying like divorce, you know, you're like, well, you know, it's better for the children because the parents aren't fighting all the time. But they don't look about how divorce can be damaging, how divorce can be damaging for the children as well. It could be even more so damaging, you know? Like they don't think about that.
I would say 95% of all posts that we see on Facebook demand no contact after the deed is done, and the vast majority of women actually want their genetic contribution shipped to them in the mail. They never want to meet the father of the child, and they don't want the child.
Oh, so they're talking about so I guess they're talking about, you know, sperm donors, you know, a woman just wanting to get pregnant but not married, doesn't have a husband or anything, is just a single woman trying to girl boss, be a single mother.
To have the ability to be the father. And we're talking 90.
Yeah, but this is not the situation that you're in. The situation that you're in is you go and plow these chicks because you want to fuck them, right? And then they have kids with your genetic material that way, correct?
You're right.
I don't know why we're obfuscating away from this issue into other issues that have nothing to do with what you're doing, which is porking women because they pay you money, and then you get to play with more money from them, I guess. You get to play with their investments and their savings in order to make good stock trades so you can make yourself more money. I'm not exactly sure how you feel like you're on a hero's arc here. Like, what is it that you're doing? What is this great service you're providing for society other than creating single mother households and people who don't know who their fathers are exactly? At least in the case, for instance, of a person who anonymously is a donor, what happens is, the parents are carefully selected from a married couple, right? And then they go and, you know, they get the kid via IVF or something like this. It's a very careful selection for this. In your case, no, you just select, right? Just like, well, yeah, I'll plow you, and there's the baby, and I don't have any financial risk, and I never have to take care of it again, right? Is that right?
So wait a minute. So this guy just impregnates women, and that's it, and they pay him to impregnate them? Well, yeah, that's wild, and I could see why Andrew Wilson called him a scumbag.
Well, hold on now. If the donor's anonymous and the married couple divorces, you've still got a single mother, and then she just can never identify who the father.
Yeah. So the thing is, everything's about mitigating risk, right? Not maximizing it. And I would assume that you would understand that you would much rather have a married couple have a child, even under the assumption there's a possibility one day they could divorce. Versus here, single mom, lesbian, have a field day. Hope nothing goes wrong with my kid.
Issue number one, the top complaint amongst the donor conceived community is lack of access to the father, and it has been that way for 20 years.
Yeah, so maybe you should have kids that have access to their fucking father, bro. Do you know what that means, access? Do you think that means that they want you to call them and say, oh, well, happy birthday. I'm sorry that your life's all fucked up because I left you there with a single mom and everything's going to get wrecked and put to shit. But here's the thing. I got to mitigate my risk, Junior. You know how it is. You know how it is, Junior. Sometimes you just got to mitigate that risk a little bit, right? Do you think that that's what do you think that that's what the complaint of not having the access to dad is that they don't call enough on your fucking birthday? Or do you think it's daddy taught me how to do everything in life? He taught me logic, he taught me reason, he taught me how to move through life, he taught me about masculinity, he taught me about everything, and he was right there through all of my ups and downs. He financially did a lot of the heavy lifting to get me in a better position than he was ever. That's what access to dad means, bro.
Perhaps one possible solution is we could limit pregnancies to women that are strictly married and deny pregnancies to single women.
Good idea. Why would you think that I would be against such a policy, or at least an incentive? So I wouldn't say that you could just, probably legislate that behavior out, but you could offer massive incentives for women who were married and had children. And I think that that would be good for society. And also, there's another component to this called social shame. Works fantastically well in order to keep women married. And if they were in even the single mom arena, for them to remarry and stay married, I think that that's a great idea. Fantastic idea. When can we get policy moving for that, and policy moving away from having degenerates impregnating women across the United States and Southeast fucking Asia, and then going ahead and gambling with mom's life savings? When can we do that? I'm all for it.
Didn't Southeast Asia, sorry.
No, I'll put it over to Torshi from here. She hasn't had a chance to talk much, but.
No, that's good. I'm just thinking to myself, this is exactly what happens when you put men in charge of conception. They make it perverse and disgusting. And I just, out of curiosity, how does it feel to know that every time you bang a woman, it's out of obligation? That sucks. You've never had like actual genuine desire. Nobody actually wanted to rip your clothes off. Does that bother you?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to say, I've had plenty
Will
of
you
women
take
rip my
your
clothes off.
Will you take your headphones off and stand up for me?
Well, sure. I won't be able to hear a word you say, but
That's okay. I don't really feel like you're listening anyway. Back up. Spin.
What the hell's going on here?
Are you having him do a twirl, Torsia?
Yeah. All the way. He's being a good sport. I feel bad.
He's amazing, honestly. Like,
I feel so violated.
Just to the viewers, we did have like another pair for Hung Low, but he kind of got left high and dry, unfortunately. And he's kind of, and Hung Low, I'm telling you, I am grateful because you are taking this like a champion. There was kind of like no mitigation in this moment, unfortunately.
Oh, I appreciate it, and it's my pleasure to be here and entertain all of you.
So are there two types of like insemination? Can you talk to me about like the process or whatever?
Well, there's the standard IVF clinic and cryobanks.
You personally.
Personally, every mother of my children, I have
meet up with
personally met them for a date, and we just go on a date like anybody else would.
And you go on a date, and then what?
I don't know. Go to mini golf, have ribs at Chili's, go to the beach.
And then what?
This is not like an immediate process. This usually takes a few months. I'm interviewing the person. I'm filtering. I'm trying to figure out if
you're trying to take on the woman's role. You're trying to have like control in this situation. Is that what you're doing? Because it sounded like in the beginning when you're talking about 666, you're like an incel. So I'm just trying to figure out like what the motive is. Because it's obviously not to actually help women. It's not that. I think you're kind of narcissistic, honestly. And I never thought I'd throw that word around on a stream, but you come off very like grandiose.
There is an episode of Law and Order where like John Stamos was the bad guy, but he was like someone that just liked to impregnate like a bunch of women. Like, I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it was like I don't remember if it was a fetish or if it was like he just wanted like his seed out there, like if he just wanted to have a bunch of his children out there as possible. And I think it was out of narcissism as well in that episode. And it seems like we have a real life villain, John Stamos here, who he just wants his children out there because he thinks he's so great. We got to have more of them.
Like a hero And it's like, I don't really feel like you're doing
A
anything
hero.
to help anybody. If anything, you're making the world worse.
Yeah, exactly.
I see where you're coming from. I understand. But like I said, about 95% of the women that seek out men like me, they don't want any contact. They don't ever want to meet. They want to, they want to receive their genetic contribution in the mail, and I just don't think that's the right.
What
process.
are you going to do now that you're 40? Your sperm's expired. It's been expired. Just for the ladies watching, if you're even considering.
Expired.
No, it is. You don't think you hit a wall? Has no one told you this?
No, I'm afraid not.
I feel like you need to be arrested and thrown in jail.
You're not disputing that the sperm quality in men degrades starting in their late 30s, and it continues to degrade every single year that they're alive, right? I mean, you are aware that this is true, that genetic defects and things like this do increase based on that?
He doesn't give a fuck.
Well, no doubt, of course. We all age. It's part of oxidation.
Yeah, I don't feel like that addresses the point, but rather obfuscates away from it. So the thing is I wasn't asking if you're aware that we all age. I assume that you're not a fucking idiot and understand that everybody ages. My question specifically, sir, was whether or not you're aware that sperm degrades with age in men.
I'm sure that it does, but it can't be any worse than the damage that the cryo industry causes by freezing something to negative 150 degrees.
Well, let us assume that I thought everything that the cryo labs across the United States do is completely evil and immoral. Let's just assume it for a second. I'm not sure how that has a fucking thing to do with you. How does that have a single thing to do with you and what you do, sir? What the cryo industry does?
Men like me are the alternative to the IVF and cryo industry.
No, women keeping their legs closed without having a long-term partner is the alternative, isn't it?
Couldn't women just go outside and pick somebody?
Sure,
yeah, exactly.
Sure, they absolutely could. Absolutely. I tell women 7 days a week to meet your donor in person for a date, and they always try to throw me out of the group.
Do you know?
You can interview them.
Well, do you know what a false dialectic is? Do you know what a false dialectic is?
Like
do you know what that is?
Like a Hegelian dialectic?
No, not a Hegelian dialectic, just a false dialectic. So a false dialectic is what you're doing is you're trying to make a bifurcated choice. You're saying it's either or, right? We're the alternative to a thing which never needed to exist to begin with, right? There doesn't need to be an alternative for lesbians to get pregnant because they want to will their girlfriend their fucking Subaru and pretend to have a family, right? We don't actually need that in society. It's not necessary at all, right? So there doesn't need to be an alternative to something that's already fucking stupid, right? We don't actually need this alternative. It's not necessary in any way. Isn't that correct?
So lesbian women should never have children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Correct, right? I mean, let me ask you a question. Can lesbian women have children?
Sure, they absolutely can.
I'm sorry.
Why do they go to you?
They have children with women?
No, not two women. They
not two women. They can't do it, right? It's a very strange dynamic that it almost seems like there's a fail-safe in the system, right? There's this great fail-safe that says, wait a second, this is not a great pairing for biological offspring. And we know it's not a great pairing for biological offspring. You can't even have fucking biological offspring. So, but then enter you, and you come in and say, well, don't worry about it. I will give you, the person I know is going to be divorced within a few years, because all you lesbians get divorced, a child. And it will be all my offspring, and I'll never take care of it. How in the world, sir, could you ever justify that as being a boon to humanity?
Like you said, there are two options.
No, there's three. That's the false dialectic. There's three options. There's four options. There's five options. Let me give you some alternative options. Alternative option one, you stop being a man whore. That's alternative option one, right? That you can just stop it right now, and then that option's off the table for him, isn't it? Then there's this other option that you didn't mention, which is that we could have legislation against this fucking madness, and we probably should, because what a horror show, the way that you've described this. Another option that we could do is we could just say, well, wait a second, this is really bad for society in general. And people like you could just, find some kind of moral backbone and stop doing it altogether, correct? So I mean, there's many other options besides the two which you presented, isn't there?
I completely agree with you. I had that same line of thinking about 2 years ago when I penned a bill called the Same Gender Equal Rights Reproduction Act. And basically what the bill did was outlaw child support outside of marriage and most welfare programs. That would thus influence what I would call Section 8 behavior.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
What is Section 8 behavior? You mean it's going to stop women from being promiscuous because they have to take the responsibility for their actions? Is that what you're saying?
Right. And having multiple children to multiple men out of wedlock.
Okay, but you're having multiple children to multiple women out of wedlock, sir. Where's your responsibility?
My children get to see me whenever they want. I'm not sitting down in federal lockup.
Sorry. Inside of your bill, did it say that, oh, you don't have to pay any of this as long as your kids can just see you whenever you want? Or was there some sort of, were you angling for some sort of obligation like, oh, I don't know, the reason that you're not going to get any type of assistance for this is because you're going to be stuck with the financial burden forever. And so because of that, that's going to reduce the chances of you doing this thing, right?
Right. So that would increase abortion rates.
Decrease birth rates. Right. Exactly. So your position is these women should be taking the full financial burden of the things that they do, right? And this bill is going to assure that they do that, right? It's going to assure, and so that's going to limit the amount of this that happens. Great. So where's that bill for you, fuckhead? Where's that bill for you? That also makes you responsible for the same exact shit that you just drafted a bill to reduce their bad behavior in doing. Where's that bill? Are you going to pin that?
Women have full choice over who they sleep with.
So do you.
They choose who they marry.
So do you.
They choose who they marry.
You have full. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have.
It's clear this guy just wants to. Yeah, he just wants to sleep with all these women and impregnate all these women as much as he wants without any of the responsibility. Yeah, this guy is a complete scumbag.
Full choice over your own actions as well. But if you pin a bill and the bill is saying that because now women have to take financial responsibility with no assistance from anybody else, that's going to reduce promiscuous behavior, shouldn't you be held to the same exact fucking standard?
I don't have the ability to abort my children.
So I'm sorry, I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything?
If you were to get a young lady pregnant tomorrow night, do you have the ability to force an abortion on her?
No. What does that have to do with anything?
You have no control over whether or not that child is born. She has the right to choice to her body.
Okay. Do you realize that there are many states where they can't have an abortion anymore, where that's completely outlawed, right? And if you were in said state, are you saying that you would not still have passed such a bill, even though you know it reduces promiscuity in women? Of course you would have, right?
So
I'd like an answer to my question first before you obfuscate.
The rider addendum on the bill is a federal abortion legislation. So abortion becomes legal in all 50 states and all territories. But yeah. So abortion everywhere and no more child support. And we're stripping the majority of welfare.
Ah, I see. So let me just make sure I have this right. I just want to make sure I get your worldview completely correct. What you're going to do is you're going to say, since women all have the choice to abort if they choose to abort, then that means that they're the ultimate arbiter. And so all responsibility then falls upon them, right?
Correct. So women will once again start choosing marriage over one night stands at the club.
What?
I'm sorry. Why would they start choosing marriage?
Why would they start choosing marriage?
Because there will be no child support outside of marriage.
Well, they can just have an abortion, dunce. What are you talking about?
Right. So once the child's aborted,
why would it lead to marriage if you could have all of the sex that you wanted with none of the consequence? That defeats the whole purpose of what you're saying.
Because if you're a woman and you want to have a child, you're going to want financial security. You're going to get married.
Yeah, the best way to do that is to have an abortion, especially if you're saying there's no moral qualms. You want it legal in all 50 states. How is that going to encourage marriage to tell women to just go ahead and abort their kids?
If you want children, you will get married.
Okay, dude, listen. Wait.
What the fuck? What?
Dude, makes no
you
sense.
Hate women. You actually hate. I think you're in the closet. I think we have literally this dude that's actually gay because all the shit you're saying about women, get rid of this, get rid of that. You actually hate them. It's crazy.
Well, let me take a moment just to intervene for just a sec. I just want to say there's over 4,000 of you guys watching between all of the different channels. I'm watching it. It's really cool. If the viewers want to hit a like, subscribe, share, do
She
that.
means from my
Heart is
channel, by the
easy.
way.
Huh?
She means from my channel.
Yeah, that I'm gonna say 99%
Oops, sorry guys.
of them are coming from his. But I just want to say to all of you out there, all the viewers, please be sure to like, subscribe, share, do that part. We all love you. We're glad that you're here. Thank you. Back to you, Torsia.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to continue with my line of inquiry because this is incoherent madness. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
If the goal here is to promote marriage, do you realize that the number one indicator for marriage is going to be that the act of sexual intercourse leads to pregnancy, right? The unavoidable pregnancy. If you take that off the table, like with birth control and abortion, that reduces marriage because now you can have all that fun stuff, the sex part, without any of the responsibility, the kid part. So how in the world are you and your policies leading towards marriage, sir? You're doing the opposite.
We have a system right now where a woman can have multiple children to multiple men, and the state will support her. They'll give her Section 8 housing, food stamps. Maybe she can get child support out of 2 or 3 of the men. Maybe a few are in lockup and the state pays. I think that's the wrong motivation. We need to stop sponsoring this kind of degenerate behavior.
You're the degenerate. What do you mean? You're the degenerate. You're the behavior you're engaged in is degenerate behavior. You are literally going town to town and spreading your seed like your Johnny fucking Appleseed and are refusing to have any sort of support for the women who, by the way, if you really cared about female responsibility, is it responsible, sir, for you or for these women even who you impregnate? Is it responsible for 2 lesbians who are going to get divorced and you know they're going to get divorced within 5 years? Is it responsible for them to have your kid? Is that a responsible thing to do?
I think that's something that needs to be penned into the legislation. If you want to marry her and you want to tell her that you will support her after the pregnancy, you need to be held accountable for that.
Yeah, that's not my question. So I'm gonna reiterate my question because you sidestepped it. And so here's the question again. When perhaps instead of sidestepping it, you'll directly answer it. Is it responsible for 2 lesbian women who are likely going to get divorced, and you know they're going to get divorced, to have your child? Is that responsible of them, sir?
I think it can be. I think women can be responsible when held to the same standards as men. They can be just as responsible.
Oh, I see.
I'm telling
Equal
you guys,
rights,
this guy's
equal
in the
fights.
closet.
And these, let me ask you a question. These children who are in a single mom household, were the couples lesbians, sir?
They were.
They were. Oh, they were. Oh, they were. What a shock. What a shock. So wait, at the end, it could be, they're super responsible both times in the single mother household. And you, by the way, allowed this to happen. How in the world can you try to pin that other people need to be taking care of the fucking mess that you participated in making? And you knowingly participated in making it. It's just fucking wild to me, man.
I don't think our tax dollars should be supporting those single mothers and those children without their father.
You mean who wouldn't exist without you?
Well, who's
right?
gonna fucking pay for them if you're not gonna do it? It's crazy to me that, like, oh my god. Sorry, I'm triggered. Go ahead.
I think if we change the legislation, we can alter the behavior. I think the legislation is dictating the behavior right now. That's the issue.
Do you think you can be stopped? Do you think, or
With the correct legislation?
Really? So you think there needs to be laws against what you're doing?
I think there need to be laws that hold people financially accountable for their actions. So when a woman
like
chooses to have a child,
like you.
Listen up,
even people like me. But if we change the laws, women will start getting married when they decide they want to have children. And if we make abortion legal everywhere, if women don't want to have children, they won't.
Well,
they won't have any.
Let me go ahead and destroy this latest absurd argument by just going over some basic stats with you that I'm sure you can agree on. Can you tell me, sir, since you have the How to Date American Men handle there, I'm sure you've looked into dating statistics and marriage statistics, haven't you?
I have.
Yep. What's the average age for for a woman getting married right now?
Is it still 28 or is it 29 now?
Higher.
They'll tell me 31.
32.
Oh
God,
no.
well, that's almost too late. That's almost too late.
Almost too late for what?
Dude, you
I've
already
never-
hit the fucking wall.
Wait, it's almost too late for what, sir?
I have never seen a healthy pregnancy come to term after the woman is age 38. I've never
Dude,
seen
your
it.
sperm is fucking ancient. Like it's a literally ancient.
So I just hang on. So I just want to make sure. Right. By the way, I'm getting corrected. Some are saying it's actually 33 on the average right now. I thought it was 32
Jeez.
last I looked, but it's
I still
still,
thought we
even
were
if it was
28.
30, that would still be a massive problem, wouldn't it? And why? It's because of the healthy offspring, and the amount of offspring they're going to have is not very many. Now, sir, can you tell me what the birth rate is in the United States?
1.8.
No, it's less, 1.6. By the way, it's dropping like a rock. Now, let me ask you a question. Is 1.6 a sustainable birth rate for a population?
It depends on how long people are living.
No matter how long people are living, it wouldn't matter, right? It's reducible generationally, so it wouldn't matter.
Right,
It wouldn't
right.
matter if the generation who came before you lives 10 years longer, 5 years longer, because every single concurrent generation is going to reduce numerically. I mean, it's just simple math, right?
We would have to see a return to biblical lifespans, like Noah living 800 years. That's what it would take.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not. Yeah. Okay. So then that's a red herring. Makes no sense. So the thing is that do you think that there's a correlation with the fact that women are getting married currently in their 30s to the fact that we have such a low birth rate?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're
Absolutely.
100% correct. You're 100% correct. And I think a lot of that has to do with, bonding women into bonded indentured servitude through college debt. You send them to college, get them 50K in debt, and send them to work. They're going to work instead of getting married. They're working until.
But do you know why that is, sir? That's because they can have all that sex that they want, right, without any of the consequences of that sex, right? Because they can go have an abortion, and they have them to the tune of $1.5 million a year, and also they are on all sorts of birth control in the interim. And so what happens is they wait till they're financially stable, whatever the fuck that means, until they're going to go ahead and settle down, right? Your plan actually is going to exacerbate this problem. And I have no idea how you could ever talk your way out of this. If you make abortion legal in all 50 states and I'm guessing as late term as you could make it, but if you make it legal in all 50 states, how in the world would that not exacerbate the sexual liberation of women so that they can just go play the field as much as they want and get married late? How in the world does that not exacerbate the problem, sir?
Sir, what I'm attempting to do here is
I don't understand his logic either. Like, why? Again, I don't understand how legalizing abortion across all 50 states would encourage women to get married. This logic doesn't follow with me at all.
remove the variable in the equation that is paying women to have multiple children to multiple men. I want to.
But again, though, it's not going to solve the problem. It's just going to lead to women having just more sex and then just having more abortions. It's not going to lead to, okay, well, now that abortion's legal, I'm going to get married. That doesn't follow at all.
Get rid of that kind of behavior. I think that creates problems in our society.
Yeah, maybe it does, but
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm just granting it, right? I'm just going to grant that causes problems. How are you solving that problem? By exacerbating the issue of marriage by allowing abortions.
Did he? Okay, that wasn't just me. All right, Andrew froze for a second. While he's frozen, Noah R comes in with the 99.99. A guy named Hunglo, a redhead, a cat, and an Orthodox Christian walk into a bar.
Cheers, Noah.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah, for bringing some entertainment to this evening.
We need it.
They'll get what they want, and they will go to any lengths to do it, even if they have to buy hotels in the United States and Europe.
That made no sense.
The backers, the capital that backed the fertility industry in Asia at that time, purchased corporations like RCI and bought massive hotel interest in the U.S.
They should all be outlawed. If you can't have kids, sucks. It's just my hot take.
Oh,
That's
and
understandable.
Andrew, now that you're back, I wanted to confirm with you. We wanted to double check with the panel. Kat wants to go ahead and tap out and bring on Damon. I don't know if you're familiar with Damon or have any quarrels with him being on panel, but she wanted to. Okay, I think you'll be fine. Kat, do you want to send the link to Damon, and then he can just swap out when you're ready? And the floor is back to you guys if you wanted to take it from there. Kat's just wanted to step away.
I don't know. He's agreed with everything, so it's like I don't know what to say to this.
I've had a long time to think about this, and what bothers me the most is after I got the contact from Japan, from the woman's, trying to seek me out, and I got to see photos of the daughter. I think about all those children in Asia, and I wonder, if they had the ability to contact me, would they? Would they reach out? Would they want me to come visit? Would they want to come here? Maybe even just have a network to find out who their brothers and sisters were. Otherwise, they're running around, looking for other Japanese that have blonde hair and green eyes.
I feel like they can just download fucking 23andMe or.
Let me just. I'm gonna fast forward to where Andrew is grilling this guy again.
Never donated to a single mother, but as we both agreed, around year 7 in the lesbian marriage, child age 5, there does appear to be a history of divorce patterns emerging.
I would love it if they
I
could
mean,
just
there's no doubt, right, that the chances that you are assisting with single motherhood is drastically increased by what you do, right? There's just no doubt about that.
Yeah, exactly.
2 out of 12, what are we looking at? 15%. So maybe we alter some of the legislation to shift some of that burden to encourage people to get married and stay together.
Yeah, but we went over the legislation. Your legislation doesn't make any sense. You would be assisting in women getting married later in life. So even if they got married, the whole point, I assume, of women getting married in your purview is that they raise happy, healthy children. They're getting married in their fucking 30s. That is not the way, right? That's maybe one kid if we're lucky. That's why we're averaging less than replacement rates. I don't know how your legislation fixes this. That's the critical problem, not the idea that, some of these chicks, they might, if they have to take financial responsibility, be less likely to get knocked up. It's like even if that's true, it's not going to solve the primary issue, which is the fact that they're getting married late in life and not having enough children, and you giving them unfettered access to abortion is not going to help that a bit. Your legislation actually would drive women towards abortion, because you'd still be saying, keep all of your sexual liberation. Now you're responsible for the choice. Fair enough. But if they don't want that financial responsibility, sir, you tell me what you think they're going to do. What are they going to do?
I think it would be similar to now, but we would have less women with children to multiple men. You would have less women on.
Because they would kill them, right? They'd kill them. That's your plan.
They would abort.
They'd kill them. Yeah, right. Your whole plan is like, if you don't want to take responsibility, kill the kid. That's the actual plan here.
Right. So the women that do that wouldn't reproduce, and they would be the final generation of that behavior. The only women left in the future would be the women who got married and had children. They're still going to get married. They're still going to get married. They're just now going to get married and having killed many of their own children. Yeah. They're just going to still get married at the same age, 30. They've had their fun. They've gone and done all the sexual partying. They've done all the college. They're going to do the exact same fucking thing. It's just that now they're going to have more abortions because now they're the sole financial responsibility, right? That's it. So I don't understand how this is actually going to help this actual crisis we have of marriage, because that's not what the crisis is. The crisis is not, marriage isn't happening because women are having too many children out of wedlock. That is not what's going on. What's going on is that marriages aren't happening because people are getting married late in life in their 30s. We've told women they can do that. We've told women that a man will pay new car prices for a 14-year-old car that has a lot of miles on it, and that's just not true. Men who pay full price,
you're totally switching the goalposts. Listen, even if I grant what you're saying is true, there's probably some agreement here, right? When it comes to the fact that, yes, there's tons of entitled bitches all over the place who think that they deserve to have all sorts of things they don't deserve to have. They've been run through by everything on planet Earth. Totally agree with you on all of this. I'm not sure how just saying, 50 states, all of them now have unfettered access to abortion, women can still continue with the sexual promiscuity. They can now just eliminate it because all the responsibility will be on their shoulders. Dad no longer has to do anything, in other words, to be physically responsible for their kid. How does that solve for marriage? That's my question here. How's that helping marriage?
It's going to encourage young women to pursue marriage instead of this other behavior that we've been observing. So
Why?
They're not gonna wait till 30 anymore.
Why wouldn't they?
Because they're not going to get the children and the husband if they wait.
Watch us.
Why wouldn't
They do.
Why wouldn't they get it? I don't get it. That's what they do right now.
But we just agreed they're not getting it. It's not happening.
No, they are, and
Yes,
their
they
30s
are.
getting it. Yes. What do you mean? How are you solving for that problem?
I don't think they are. I think when a man can afford to buy a new car, he wants a new car, not a 14-year-old car, not a used taxi cab. He wants a brand new car, and he's going to pay new car prices for it.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything that we're talking about? Even if it is true that men would prefer women with massively lower body counts, and I agree with you that they would, what does that have to do with the fact that these chicks are riding the cock carousel and getting married in their 30s right this second? That is the field right now. And you saying, oh, we'll just allow them to abort their kids if they ride the cock carousel solves for the problem of them getting married in their 30s. How?
I've got to disagree with you. I don't think the women are getting married in their 30s. There are marriages happening at that age, but the marriage rate is much lower than it was in the 60s.
Bro,
Are you?
Okay. Yeah, bro,
Wait.
hang on. Yes, it is going to be less than it was in the 60s. If women get married in their 30s, right, then you have eliminated this pool of the 20s for them to get married in. Therefore, there's going to be less marriages. That's how that works, right? So the thing is, you still have not solved for this problem.
Well, that guy is wild. This Hung Lo Wang. What a name, by the way, right? Hung Lo Wang. Yeah. Sounds like his 13 an email address he created when he was 13 years old. Hung Lo Wang at gmail.com. Yeah, this dude is absolutely wild, and yeah, he's not making absolute any sense. Not making any sense whatsoever. It just seems like he just wants to I don't know, impregnate women whatsoever for whatever reason. He just wants to impregnate a bunch of women, not have any of the responsibility himself. Andrew is right. This guy is a degenerate himself. And the things that he is proposing, the solutions, don't actually solve for anything. I don't see how, allowing abortion to be legalized everywhere is going to solve the birth rate crisis. I don't know how it's going to encourage women to just get married if they could just get abortions. That doesn't follow at all. And while some of his prescription, his descriptors are correct, his prescriptions are absolutely just not. And yes, this guy is a degenerate himself. Absolute degenerate himself. This is the type of behavior that we have to do away with, not just with women, but with guys like this, because they make things worse, not better. So good on Andrew for actually calling this guy out, putting him in his place. Yeah, it looks like he had no good answers for anything that Andrew was asking. What did you guys think about those? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you liked it. Also, too, if you want to see the complete and full debate, it is on the Raging Tomatoes channel. I have a link in the description down below if you want to see what else happens. Also, if you want to see the beginning, because I didn't capture the beginning. So yeah, you could go on the link that is in the description down below. Also, make sure you check out the Cool Stream Live Mondays through Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time.